Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the treehouse this morning. I'm Misty, and today we are going to talk about the letter T, and T is for tree. We have lots of trees here in the mitten where the treehouse is and where I live. And I thought today, since we're talking about the letter T and the sound of the letter T, I'd remind you what that letter looks like. Long line down, long line across, and make big strong arms for Timmy Tiger. T, 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 t. The sound of the T is t, 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 t. The sound letter T makes is t, t, t. When we see a T. And the word tree is on our letter T to remind us that that is a word that we can find when we want to write the word tree. And I also have a two, t, 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 two, and a triangle. And my little boy Jamie likes trains, trains. The other day we read a book called A Tree is a Home. And I love trees because there are so very many of them. And some have really big leaves. Look at this leaf. It's a little bigger than my hand even. One of my neighbors has leaves on their tree that are as big as my foot. And some leaves are kind of roundish. This leaf got a little squished. Do you see what color that leaf is? Yesterday we looked at brown and red and orange and yellow leaves. And this is a small little leaf. It's kind of a little small red leaf. So you have a little leaf and a medium-sized leaf and a very big leaf. So we could do big, bigger, and biggest leaves. This is an oak leaf. I'm not sure. This might be an aspen, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to find a book and find out. And this is a teeny tiny little maple leaf. Ooh, and I found some other pretty leaves the other day, but I don't know if they're still. This is a little green leaf I found, but he's kind of squished. Sometimes when you're out in the woods, this is how the leaves end up looking. Oh, now the leaves are falling. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling all around on the ground. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling all around on the ground. Oh, that one kind of curved when it fell. And I have some more leaves. Do you know what else are falling off of the trees right now? Some trees don't have leaves. They have needles, or what they call needles, and they're very long, spiky things. And I'll see if I can find some when we go on our nature walk later. Some leaves have pine cones. Or some trees have pine cones. Some pine cones are big and some pine cones are small. And some pine cones are teeny tiny. So we can do big pine cones and bigger pine cones and biggest pine cones. And later on we'll find some acorns and some pine needles. And we can talk about those too. So I just have my tree basket and things that grow on trees. Do you know why trees are important besides the fact that trees are homes? Most trees, all trees basically, make air for us to breathe. So it's very important that we take care of our friends, the trees. So I actually made my own little tree. And I have a basket. And some things in our basket start with the same sound as tree. T, t, tree. And some things do not. So I thought we could go through our basket and the things that start with t, t, we'd put up by our tree. And the things that don't start with the t, t sound, we can put down here. Are you ready to help me figure out which ones start with which letters? Okay. How about we start with an easy one? How about this? Can you tell what this is? It's shaped like a circle, round and round. But it is tape. Tape. I hear a t sound in there, so I'm going to put the tape up here with our tree. How about this? Football. Football. Well, I hear a different sound that we know. I don't think its letter is up here. I can put its letter up here. Football. Do you remember what this sound and symbol is? Football. Football. Fancy fish, letter F. But it doesn't start with t, then it would be tootball. That doesn't work. How about this? Can you see what this one is? This is a shell. Shell. I don't hear a t, t sound in there. We'll put the shell down by the football. How about this? We haven't really needed these yet, have we? G, g, g. Glove. G, g, t, t. I don't hear a t in that. In the word glove. When I say glove, I don't hear a t sound. How about this? Can you see what this is? It's one of our numbers. Round and back in a railroad track. And if you look at our number letter T, it already has one on it. T, t, 2. I'm actually going to tape our letter 2 to our tree. Can you tell what this little guy is? He's one of our finger puppets. You tell what animal he is? It's one of my favorites. He hops and hops and hops and he says ribbit. Frog. He's our frog. Frog. Sounds like our letter F. Maybe I'll put him up here. Frog. I bet you know what this is. What are these called? We all wear them a lot now to keep ourselves healthy and safe. Mask. Mask. T, t, mask. Nope, I don't hear a t sound in the mask. Oh, another one of my puppets. My finger puppets. Can you tell what that is? He swims too. And he crawls on the log. Turtle. T, turtle. T, turtle. Well, he sounds like he starts with the letter T. I wonder if he'll sit in our tree nice for us. Here he is. We have tape and 2 and turtle all sitting in by our tree. How about, what is this? Pumpkin. Pumpkin, pumpkin, I've been thinking you're the finest one I'll see. Soon you'll be a jack-o'-lantern all lit up for Halloween. Pumpkin. Tumpkin? Pumpkin. He goes down here. How about, oh, I have another puppet. Mouse. Missy Mouse. Missy Mouse. Mouse. Mouse doesn't go on our tree. Tree. How about this? It's a pencil. Pencil. Tencil. It's not a tencil, it's a pencil. We use these in math all the time. Button. Wait a minute, I hear a sound. Button. There's a T sound in the middle. Button. But it doesn't start with our T sound. It's not a tutton, it's a button. Down with the other not T sounds. Oh, what was this? Do you remember we used these when we did fish? Fall. And fish. Go up here with our frog. Oh, I found a shape. Circle. Circle. Not quite a not a turtle. It's a circle. What to put down here? I found one more shape though. Up the mountain, down the mountain, and over. Remember our triangle? 1, 2, 3. Triangle. Tree. Hey, our triangle can go over on our tree. Should we tape it to our tree? Let's try and tape our triangle on our tree. There we go. I'll put a piece of tape on our tree. I'm going to have more pictures of things to put on our T tree. Right now, I think we should add some words to our letter T. You find our markers here. So we already have our triangle, and we have our 2, and we have our tree, but we don't have our turtle. Shall I write turtle on our tree? Should I put it over here? T U R turtle. Hey, turtle has 2 letter T's in it. Turtle. Turtle. And what else do we have on our tree? We have some tape. Tape. Triangle, train, 2, tape, turtle, tree. Can you think of any other words that start with t? I can think of something I wear on my feet. Tennis shoes. Tennis shoes. How about if I go camping, what do I sleep in? Do I sleep in a tent? Tent. Hey, I think I hear 2 T's in tent. Let's write it and find out. can think of a day of the week that starts with the sound of T. T. Tuesday. Tuesday. Tuesday's a very big word, though I don't think it will fit on our T. But I can think of a food that starts with T that we eat on Tuesdays. Tacos. Tacos. Wow, our letter T is really filling up. You can think of lots of words that start with the T sound. We're gonna do a couple other things. First, I have to put our non-T things away. And put our T back up there. Football. Pencil. Pumpkin. Shell. Mask. Mouse. Button. Circle. Glove. We'll put our tape back in here. We'll leave that game right there. We'll leave our leaves and our pine cones there too. I wanted to talk to you about the parts of a tree, because lots of trees are very different, but all trees have some things that are the same. And one of the things that are the same about most trees are they have certain parts that are the same. I'm going to bring my little chair here and my markers off the table and bring my easel over here. And bring my crayons over here too, so we can do crayons too. Now, just like any plant, there's parts of a tree that you can't see. What? Because they're down below the ground. So I'm going to start with the ground. And there's the dirt on the ground. Okay. There's our ground. And when a flower grows, when you see grass or flowers, they always start out as a little seed. When trees start out as a little seed, their seeds look like something like this. Each one of these little ripples on this pine cone holds a seed. And when they're all tight, you see how tight they are at the bottom here? The seeds don't get out very well. But as we get closer and closer to the trees dropping their leaves in the fall, these open up and the seeds get out. And sometimes the seeds grow where they fall, and sometimes animals eat the seeds, but they can't hold all the seeds in their mouth, so they drop a few here and they drop a few there. Sometimes the wind will take the seeds and plant the seeds far, far away from where the mother tree was. So the seeds can go anywhere. But the seeds do what other seeds do, and they get down in the ground and they sleep for a while, and while they sleep, they start to grow. And they grow underneath the dirt where we can't see them. And when we're the part of the tree that's growing from the seed that we can't see is called the roots. The roots of the tree grow down. The roots of the tree grow down in the ground, down in the ground, down in the ground. The roots of the tree grow down in the ground where we can't see them. The roots have an important job. The roots' job is to get all the good things that the tree needs to make its own food from the ground. And it does that the roots get smaller and smaller the further they go down. So they get very, very skinny and very, very tiny, tiny. And in the meantime, other animals live down by the roots. Mice live down by the roots, and bugs and worms, I love worms, all live down under the ground by the tree's roots. Now, when a tree starts getting its roots, it starts to push up out of the ground. And it sprouts, just like other trees do. But trees are special because they can grow for a very long time. And when they grow for a very long time, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that main stem of the tree gets bigger and wider and wider and wider and wider and wider too. That's called the trunk. I heard trunk. Trunk. So the tree has a trunk. And that trunk becomes a home for a lot of different animals. And fish, sometimes trees end up with a big hole in them. Like that. You ever see the trunk of a tree like that? Very big trunk of a tree. And then the tree starts growing its own branches. The branches grow big and big and big and big and big and big and big. Here's where some trees get a little different. All trees have branches, but not all trees have leaves. And leaves can be shaped like ovals, or they can be shaped like hands, or they can be shaped like all kinds of different shapes. But each tree has its own shape of leaves. Now, I'm not going to draw all the leaves on this tree because it would take a very long time. So I'm just going to make this tree have green leaves all over it. And I'm going to leave the branches where we can see them. Because in a second we're going to put all the names of all the parts of the tree on there. Miss Shannon, what about trees that have fruit on them? Trees that have fruit on them actually get flowers or blossoms, and then the fruit pops out of the blossom. Trees are fascinating. So let me do this. Let me make these branches a little darker so we can see them a little better. Another thing to know about trees, if you want to know how big their roots are underneath the ground, look at the top of the tree, because that's how big the roots are going to be underneath it. So this tree needs some more roots, doesn't it? And yeah, roots really do look this kind of wiggly wobbly. And they kind of do look like the opposite of the branches. Another thing that roots do that's really important, friends, is the roots actually help the tree stand up straight. Sometimes if a big windstorm comes, we can actually see trees that have been knocked over, and their roots have been knocked right up out of the ground. So I'm going to use my blue marker to write the names of the parts of the tree. Do you remember what these are called that we were just talking about? These are the roots of the tree. Sometimes if I say it real fast, I'll say roots. So those are the roots, and we can't see them, right? Those are down under the ground. Do you remember what this big middle part of the tree is called? Starts with a T sound, remember? The trunk of the tree. Now there's this little part of the outside of the trunk. It goes all the way around, and it's called the bark. It's like the tree's skin. Bark. See the roots, and the trunk is the stem, and the bark is like the skin on the tree. And then we have branches. This is where moms and dads and big brothers and sisters can help you. Branches. And leaves. L-E-A-V-E-S. You can color in more later if you'd like. One time I wrote a whole story about a purple tree. A make-believe story about a purple tree. So those are the parts of the tree. I thought maybe you'd like to do a really kind of pretty art project or fun art project. And you'll need Play-Doh and some beads and maybe a little stick or some wire to make the tree. So I'm going to get my supplies and see if you can do the same. Well, I put my tree drawing and my art things away for a minute onto my art table. So I have my art supply basket. You can see a branch is sticking up out of my art supply basket. And I have my beads. And I have a little stick I'm going to use. And I have some Play-Doh. And we're going to start with our Play-Doh. And you need, depending on how tall your stick is, you may want to use the top of a jar or the top of a soup can, whatever you'd like. Or you could just use the table. But you're going to use some Play-Doh, and Play-Doh is going to be important because you need the Play-Doh to help your tree stand up. It's kind of going to be the roots of your tree is going to be the Play-Doh. See if I can get my Play-Doh out of my containers today. Sometimes the Play-Doh doesn't like to come out and play. Oh, that one did. That worked out. That might actually be the Play-Doh we made the other day. The orange with the yellow and the red. I think this Play-Doh might come out and play. I think that's all the Play-Doh I'm going to need. Now, sometimes you want to make brown Play-Doh. I know it sounds weird, but in case you ever do need to make brown, orange and blue, is one way. Uh-oh. Drop some Play-Doh on my lap. You play with it long enough, I can see it starting to turn brown. Can you see some brown in there? I'm starting to see some brown in there. Mushy gushy, mushy gushy, mushy gushy, mushy gushy. Oh, there's some good brown. Orange and blue make brown. Red and green make brown. And yellow and purple make brown. I think that's a good enough color to start with. I'm going to make it into a ball. Or as much of a ball as I can. Now, I'm going to stick my tree in my Play-Doh. There's my tree and my Play-Doh. We're gonna make a bead tree. And I actually have some wooden beads. I'm hoping that they're gonna work on my branches. Some of my branches look like I need bigger holes in some of these twigs here. Ah! And sometimes you might have to twist them on there. This tree has some buds on it, so I'm going to take some of these buds off of here. Get my beads onto my tree. And I'm going to go get some more supplies so we can make another different kind of bead tree. Treehouse sometimes. They are everywhere. Sometimes they're so everywhere I can't find them. Some more wire. Here are my tingly jingle bells. Well, we'll have to make our wire tree with this wire, I guess. Did you get some of your beads on your bead tree? I'm going to make a different kind of bead tree too. Another way you can make your bead tree is with wire. So I have some pretty shiny wire, which is easy to find at different stores. And I'm going to cut some pieces of wire and make them look like a tree. So I'm going to take pieces of wire, a long piece of wire. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it. It's very long and very skinny. A very long piece of wire. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of stretch it into long pieces that are all attached right now. And I'm going to twist it to make the trunk of my beautiful bead tree. And you could put lots more wire on this. In fact, I think I might put a little more wire on here. So I have many branches. All different kinds of lengths of branches. Twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting. Moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, this might be something you do before your friends, before your little friends, your wee hearts and your little friends get started. So that way they have plenty of time. So I just folded my branches, my tree in half again, and I'm gonna make an even bigger trunk. going to cut all my branches apart. So now I kind of see my tree. I'm going to spread my branches out and apart. I hope you can see this. If not, I'll take some pictures later on and post it on Instagram for you all. This is kind of a long branch. I'm going to make it kind of, there we go. So there's my tree. And all my different branches. I'm going to do the same thing I was doing. I put my tree in my Play-Doh. I think I'm going to move my chair where you can see me better. Hopefully you can see the tree better too. Now I could still use my big wooden beads and put my wooden beads on my tree. And I kind of like, I'm going to make a magic tree. So my magic tree, or you could just put just different beads on. Whatever beads you want to put on are just fine. I have some kind of sparkly beads. I'm going to put those sparkly beads on my bead tree. Although I do kind of like the combination of all these different kinds of beads. And you can put lots of different beads on each branch. This is a wonderful thing to do during some quiet time. Make a pretty present too. This would be pretty on Grandma and Grandpa's Thanksgiving Day table. Or you could send Grandma and Grandpa some beads and a wire, and you could do it together on Zoom. I'm going to see if I can find some teeny little wooden beads to add to this. Oh, I found some little green and pink ones. You can just fill your tree with all kinds of beautiful colors. Or maybe you can just find fall colors. Green ones. Oh, I found a little orange one. Where should this one go? I don't think I want to put very big ones on this one because I don't know that if this tree can hold on to the very big beads, but we'll try. You could even use smaller beads. Oh, I hear our singing clock. I hear our singing clock. You could make a rainbow tree. Or you could use red and green and make an apple tree or a yellow apple tree. I think I kind of like the wooden beads on this better. So I hope you have fun with your bead trees. And we talked a lot about trees today and the sound of the letter T. So I hope you had fun, and I hope you have fun making your own bead trees and looking for leaves. And soon I'll be posting a field trip that I'll take through a forest here in the Mitten. And we'll look at all different kinds of leaves and trees and things that have fallen And maybe we'll even see some friends, some animal friends out in the woods. I hope you have a wonderful day and take a little time to maybe give a tree a hug. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.